This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Well, Jim Jones is really milking this Pusha T thing. I respect it. See, that's the hustler in Jim Jones, okay? I'll never take that away from him. That's what's inspiring about Jim Jones. What's always been inspiring about Jim Jones is the hustle. The hustle, okay? Because he found, like, he wasn't even really a rapper like that in the beginning. He was Cameron's manager, right? Like, he was just getting in where he could fit in. Then he was directing videos. He was closing scissor deals. He was making sure he made bank, and he did, okay? He was doing, like, little deals with Supreme, which ended up helping Supreme. Supreme was already coming up. They were a skate brand down on Orchard Street. And nobody was wearing Supreme like that except for skaters and stuff. Jim Jones and Jewels did the Supreme line. That brought a lot of attention. Probably the start of Supreme seeing the value in hip-hop more, you know, and catering to that audience. Is Jim Jones and Dipset trendsetters? Yeah, they were the top group at the time. Yeah. Any group that's the top at the time, you can make people start dressing like you. G-Unit had its own influence. Dipset had its own influence. Even Rockefeller before that, you know, had their own influence, you know? So the part that lost me in the interview that I just saw with Backfuel, and shout out to Backfuel, right? Jim Jones was like, I'm the one who started the trend of, you know, recording at home. Stop. I wish Prodigy was still alive to call the cap on this stuff, okay? Prodigy and them, I seen them doing it. Alchemist was doing that early, recording at home. It was just a new technology that people realized, oh, we can do Pro Tools at home with an M-Box and just plug the mic up and then bring it into a professional studio to mix it down and master it. Jim Jones said Jim Jones didn't get onto that wave until 2020. 20 years later, Jim Jones is on the wave saying he started that. You got to be kidding me. That's when he was talking about doing the at-home studio. But Jim Jones had been recording in his own studio 10 years prior to that. But before that, he was doing Chungking and everything, which is a big studio in New York, if you don't know, on 7th Avenue. He was doing that up until like 2010, until he got his own studio, you know? And for him to like try to just take credit for that. And then they were saying, yo, we got to give you credit for guys like Max B and Stack Bundles. Max B and Stack Bundles were under Jim Jones because Jim Jones needed writers. He needed a crew. He didn't have a crew. When the whole thing happened where it was Dipset, then Jim Jones and Jewels kind of came into their own. They had their own crews. Like, Jewels tried to get Skull Gang, which was trash and didn't take off, okay? No disrespect. I mean, he was trying, you know, but he should have focused on his own career first, then branched off. Jim Jones started Bird Gang, and some of the artists he got on there, like Mel Matrix and everything, were trash, right? So he got Stack Bundles because Clue had Stack Bundles first, but Clue got Stack Bundles hot. Clue just didn't know what to do with them after that. I don't know why. I think Clue, around that time, Clue was going through a lot of transitions, moving from Hot 97 to Power 105. He didn't have a lot of time to focus on other people. So Stack Bundles got his release and then signed with Jim Jones. Because around that time, you kind of had to be with a crew. It was hard to do it on your own. Max B was there by default because of Harlem and everything. And I forget how he met Jim Jones and everything, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't believe in Max B in the beginning, but Jim Jones did. So he saw something in him, and obviously things didn't work out, and you know, Max B went off on his own. You know, Max B saw like, okay, I'm never gonna get put out. Stack Bundles ended up getting killed, unfortunately. Jim Jones is a hustler. That's what he is. He's still hustling music. He's actually gotten good at it. Okay, in the beginning, he needed a lot of help, and he caught a few in the beginning with Koch and everything. Like, he was obviously him and Cam, main members of Dipset, right? Core members. You could not be not part of Dipset at that time and not make some money. Even J.R. Ryder, Hell Rell, and them, even as you know, Hell Rell was making hundreds of thousands of dollars just going around doing features and stuff. If you were part of Dipset, you were making money. Okay, and Jim Jones saw that, and once he started dabbling in music a little more, the Purple City Bird Gang record with Purple City, which is Shice Bubs, Ankasa, and Agala. That's what really showed Jim Jones that that was the first like street record that caught, and he was on. You know, I don't know. Then we got Pras. Okay, so Pras is obviously a member of the Fugees. He was FBI informant and faces 22 years in jail for accepting $100 million. He admits he was an FBI informant and faces 22 years in jail after accepting $100 million. He took more than $100 million from Malaysian billionaire Joe Low to gain political influence for Low in the Obama and Trump administrations. He faces multiple counts, including conspiracy to serve as an unregistered agent of China and witness tampering. He has pleaded not guilty and faces 22 years in prison. He might face more than that. I think that's treason at that point, right? I don't know, man. Illegal campaign contributions with foreign funds, tampering with witnesses, and not registering as a foreign agent of the Chinese government. That makes sense. This is Jordan Tao with JT News. Peace.